아, 나오나요? 마이크 테스트. 방송 나오나? 잘 나오고 있나? 무슨 게임이야 이거? 이거 그냥 옛날 그거 같은 거 아니야? 옛날 그거. 타운스 맨십인가? 그거. 안녕하세요. 시티즈? 스카이 시티즈랑 그거랑 섞었네요. 스카이 시티즈랑 타운스 뭐 오늘십인가? 뭔 게임이래 이거는? 단독 게임이 좀 많이 나오는구나. 그래도 캐릭터가 그나마 난데요? 일본 게임이라 그런가? 이것저것 PC질을 안 해가지고 캐릭터 이쁜데? 차라리 이런 게 나을 수도 있어. 그렇지 않나요? 미하. 보고 치는 건가? 스토리 게임이야? 무슨 게임을 하는 거지? 액션 게임도 아니고? 마피아 게임인가요? 그럴 수도 있겠다. 아니 뭐 무슨 게임인지 모르겠어. 무슨 게임인지 모르겠어. 캐릭터가 나오는 건 알겠는데. 그래도 게임을 처음 보는 거긴 한데 뭔가 만들고 있긴 하네. 다행히도. 맞아. 얘네 다 펀딩 받고 만든 게임인 듯. 근데 우리가 기대하는 PC VR 게임은 안 나올 것 같기는 한데 그래도 괜찮아요. 일단 단독 유저가 수백 배 많은 건 사실이니까 사람들 인식이 좀 먼저 올라가는 게 우선일 수도 있어. 미니골프? 자동자막은 그냥 혼자서 이상한 말 하네. 뭔 게임이야? 아, 골프? 아까 하던 거 미니골프? 근데 골프 좋아하는 분들 되게 많은 것 같아요. 오큘러스 스튜디오. 오너드! 야, 오너드 2 나오는 거였어? 아, 오너드 2야? 아니면 그래픽 업그레이드 버전이야? 뭐야 이거? 오너드? 투라고는 안 써있었어. 맞아. 다리 모션 고친 듯? 그래픽 좀 업그레이드 했나? 모션이랑? 그래도 FPS 게임 잘 나오는 건 좋다. 아, 방금 견착 좀 어색했다. 이거 조금 어색했다. 아, 모전 업그레이드 드디어. 아, 이제 좀 할 맛이 나겠다, 오늘도.
Welcome to my arena of hellfire. In here, no one.
뭔 게임이죠? 오, 재밌어 보이는데 느낌 좋아 이거.
Two sides enter.
재밌어
But
보이는데?
only one side can survive. Let the battle come
괜찮은데?
in.
느낌 좋아.
Time for battle. Guardian ready.
아, 보드게임 유로. 데미오밖에 없으니까 재밌겠다, 그죠? 할만할 듯? 괜찮은 것 같아, 이런 거. 데미오 같은 보드게임인가봐요. 재밌겠다. 아, 뭐야, 데모였네? 데모 같은 게 아니라 데모였네? 배틀 버전으로 나온 거구나. 1대1, 2대2.
My dear little
너무 똑같다 했어, 그죠?
you are a special one. Able to experience time a bit more
뭐지? 무슨 게임이지, 이것도?
flexible.
탄창 던져주는 거. 맞아, 이런 카툰 되는 게임이 날 수도 있어, 차라리. 좋은 그래픽은 어차피 모바일 칩셋으로는 힘드니까.
You and all your other selves. You were created a part of me.
복사되는 거 뭐야? 아, 과거의 나로부터 미래의 나한테 아이템을 전달할 수 있는 그런 건가? 그죠?
We are
똑같은 사람인데 똑같은 사람인데 플레이를 연결되어 있네. 약간 시간차로 녹화본 뜬 자기 자신과 뭐 이렇게 상호작용하는 그런 건가 봐요. 좀 재밌을 수도 있겠다. 좀 색다른 게임인데 이거는 자기가 먼저 던져놓고 여기서 받는 거잖아요. 색다른 느낌이다. 못 봤던 게임 방식이야 저거는. 세차 게임 뭐야? 파워워시. 자막은 프로그램 돌려서 하는 거라서 어쩔 수 없습니다. 이제 2시야? 딱 시간 맞춰서 하는 거였어? 임시로 나온 거였군요. 일찍 시작한 게 그냥 게임 속에. 더 있는 거야 그러면은? (1분 30초) 더 기다려야 돼요. 1분 30초. (1분 20초) 구매장 떠 있는 거 아니지? 홈페이지에 미리 떴으니까 그쵸? 갑자기 구매 버튼으로 바뀌었을 수도 있어. 1분. 지금 나온 게임들도 꽤 재밌을 것 같은데요? 오히려 플스 쇼케이스 때보다도 더 많이 나온 듯 VR 게임? 그렇지 않나요? 맥주 하나 보면서 오랜만에 다들 모였으니까 좋네요. 미드 번역으로 해야 되나 이거는? (2시) 시작해! 2시 시작해! 빨리 시작해줘. 4초. 갑니다. 시작. 가자! 첫 공개는 뭘 할까요? 과연 첫 공개는 뭘로 할 것인가?
Welcome everyone
Welcome
to our third
everyone.
annual MetaQuest Gaming Showcase. I'm thrilled to be back hosting, and it's a big day. This
MC분
morning,
너무
Mark
아리따우신데요?
Zuckerberg shared that our
매력적이야.
MetaQuest 3,
어,
our next
퀘스트
gen VR
3!
headset, is
바로
launching later
공개한다고?
this year.
아,
MetaQuest
이미
3
인스타에
is our
떴으니까.
follow-up to MetaQuest 2, and will feature advanced tech that opens up
스냅드래곤.
new possibilities in both VR and MR.
VR,
It will also be
MR.
backwards compatible with Quest 2's entire library of over 500 games and apps. Later in the show, we'll explore Oculus Studios' biggest and most immersive game ever with a gameplay deep dive. A game that will take advantage of MetaQuest 3's cutting-edge hardware. We have way more to share when MetaQuest
500개
3
이상의
releases,
게임.
including
장난 아니네.
more apps and experiences, and a whole slate of groundbreaking MR content. These are
Deep
all
dive.
stepping stones toward our long-term vision for building the metaverse.
그래요. MR에 대야 제가 더 밖에 나가서 뻘짓거리를 하죠. 나중에 홍대도
Every
가고
title you see today
강남도
will be
가고
playable on both MetaQuest 2 and 3, and is currently set to launch in the next 12 months.
오늘은 쇼케이스 게임에 관한
So let's
거래요.
get started.
오늘은 쇼케이스 게임 VR 게임에 관련된 거다. PS2인데? 옛날에 만든 건가 봐요. 그냥 리듬 게임. 약간 하와이 그거잖아. 하와이. 몰라 몰라. 좀 색달랐던 리듬 게임이라서 그쵸, 이런 류의 리듬 게임은 없었어요. 북 있고 빅세이버 있고 샤카 이런 건 처음 나왔네. 뭐야, 야구도 돼? 남미의 악기인가요 저게? 삼바.
Samba de Amigo in VR.
아,
I
이
cannot be
여자
more
MC분
excited because
목걸이가 너무
music is
매력적인데?
such an important part of my life.
자꾸
I was a
눈길이가.
professional musician for years, and at Meta, I've gotten to work
다음
with
게임은 또
talented teams behind a bunch of other
삼바
rhythm
아미고.
games. Playing Samba de Amigo in VR feels like it's always belonged here, and I can't wait to see everyone shaking their maracas. when Sega brings the game to the MetaQuest store this fall. Back in February, Shell Games revealed I Expect You to Die 3, Cog in the Machine.
누나.
Today,
누나
I can
예뻐요.
confirm that this third helping of Spy Hijinks, or Spyjinks, is coming to the MetaQuest store this year. Hopefully your skills haven't gotten too rusty, because this threequel will send agents on their most challenging mission yet. Confront more villainous villains, tackle more perilous perils, and expect to die a few more times.
와.
You are either very strong or that
와, 이거
stick is not
재밌잖아요,
attached
이거.
correctly.
한글화는 근데 안 해줘요. 2도 아직 안 해줬는데.
Dr. Roxana Prism is a former inventor for the agency. She truly believes she can
재밌겠다.
create a better agent.
Oh, hey, I'm Rob Butler.
You'll either prove her wrong,
이거 MR이랑 MR 컨텐츠도 더 내주나 그러면은?
you're dead in that second scenario.
Once you're dead, everyone will see just how superior my robots are to human agents.
Hey, you found some nickel. Do it again and you'll have 10 cents.
이거 재밌어요. 스팀에 1편 사서
Check this
깨볼만
out.
해요.
We can fly now.
It's simply a matter of
재밌더라고.
time and iteration.
퍼즐 게임. 네가 죽길 바래.
Are you using Dr. P's notes I left in there? Aren't they great? Sometimes I look at them because they make me happy.
You don't have to play the series in order, but if you'd like to, you'll find the first 2 games bundled in the MetaQuest store for 40% off for a limited time. That's not all Shell Games is working on. They made a promise at last year's showcase. 3 games over the next 2 years. Hot off the press, let me introduce you to Silent Slayer, Vault of the Vampire. Silent Slayer is a single-player
Silent.
horror game that'll bring you
뭐지?
face-to-face with slumbering vampires. And as you might guess from the
공포
title,
게임?
stealth
와우,
is
공포
key to
게임.
survival. As Shell Games puts it, silence is golden, sound is death. Spooky. Let's take a peek.
Keep silent.
와, 분위기 좋은데요?
Gently. At last,
일단 분위기 좋아 여기까지는.
aim for the center of the chest. And do not be gentle.
뭐야, 비명 소리 안 나? 국룰 아니었어? 어? 이게 끝이야? 더 안 보여줘? 플레이하면 더 안 보여줘? 야!
At last year's showcase, we revealed Ghostbusters: Rise of the Ghost Lord. And
고스트바스터들이 씨발 욕 나오네. 몇 년 전부터 지금.
For this year's show, Sony Pictures VR and Dreams put together a little dossier on the Ghost Lord himself.
플레이 영상을 보여줘라. 풀스테도 그렇고
And
계속.
how did he get to be so mean? Along the way, we'll get a glimpse of the West Coast's first Ghostbusters HQ, some iconic San Francisco landmarks, and the spirits and specters that you'll be trapping there with your friends. Let's take a look.
일단 누나가 예뻐서 참고 본다. Ghostbusters 귀여워.
You think you know the whole story of the Ghostbusters. Well, you don't know my story.
게임 플레이하면 좀
My
보여주라.
research brought me to Columbia University, where I studied under the Ghostbusters.
니네가 만들고 있는 건
Dismissed
알겠는데.
my work, called it dangerous. But in San Francisco, I can show them. With its untapped cauldron of the undead. Where others saw fear, I saw subjects. How could I know my research would stir a dormant evil? The Ghost Lord. Alcatraz. Tortured souls. Whose guilt I could drain.
약간 그 VR 챗 공포 게임 생각나는데.
The price of progress. My dear assistant Katie understands.
어쩔 수 없이 카트 렌더링으로 잘 만들 수밖에 없는 것 같아요, 단독 게임.
Especially you, Ghostbusters, with your silly parlor tricks. You will see the progress I have made. Know the power I have harnessed. You will realize that I, Gustav Hookfather, am the genius who gave the world endless clean energy.
일단 성우 텐션 좋은데요.
I brought upon the world. The time of the Ghost Lord is here.
또 티저만 나오네 또. 고스트바스터즈는 티저도 나오지 마라 이제. 나오기 전까지는. 너네 티저를 지금 4번째 보나?
Check this out. The team let me into the San Francisco Ghostbusters HQ a
누나
little
작업복
early,
예뻐요 누나.
and it's still under construction. But I've got my proton pack, my PKE meter, and I know exactly who I'm teaming up with to take out the Ghost Lord. Because if there's one thing you can say about me, is that I ain't afraid of no
약간
ghosts.
VR 느낌. 컨셉은 좋네요. 저런 거 끼고 한다는 게 컨셉은 좋은 것 같아.
Anyway, when we asked One Homsub, developers of Rocket NX, what's something players will love about your new game, they said, you can lose an arm, then pick it back up, and bash your enemies with it. There you go. Underdogs is a physics-based brawler where you wrap yourself in your
라켓?
5-ton gorilla mech
테니스 게임?
and rampage through New Braca. the 22nd century mech fighting capital of the world. Take on whatever the pitmasters throw your
고스바스
way
얘기 중인가?
and upgrade your mech to be even more fearsome. But remember, the more you climb the ranks, the more every lowlife in the city will be gunning for you.
대체 유튜버들이 놀란
Get
게임이
ready to
뭘까?
claw your way up the food chain.
대체 유튜버들이 놀랐던 게임이 뭘까?
Yo, this city ain't
Make
never
up
gonna
IP.
let two base boys like us in. Nah, this the jungle out here, bruv. If we wanna get into New Braca,
진짜네?
we're gonna have to fight like f***ing animals.
이게 멀티 게임이 2대2로 재밌는 게임이 나와야 돼. 5대5는 너무 인원이 많이 모여야 되고, 그래야 단독조도 풀이 안 죽고 계속 살아남을 수 있어가지고. 그쵸? 컨셉은 좋아 보이고, 타격감은 사실 사운드가 많은 지분을 차지해서 유리창 깨져있는 그런 표현 좋다. 오큘러스 퍼블리싱 돈 많이 쓰긴 했네. 지원 많이 해주네요, 오큘러스 애들이.
At last year's show, we revealed NFL Pro Era, the first NFL and NFLPA licensed VR football sim. Since the games launched last
NFL?
October,
Rugby?
you've completed over 3 million NFL seasons and unlocked over 9 million trophies. But what's next? Here to tell you is Status Pro president and co-founder and former NFL wide receiver, Andrew Hawkins.
Thanks, Ruth. Our goal last year
게임이
is
아니고
to give people the
럭비
experience
중계를
of
한다는
being
소리인 것
NFL
같은데.
feeling the rush of
그쵸.
stepping onto the field and leading your favorite NFL team to victory. The positive response we got from our community was
스포츠 경기
overwhelming.
VR
That was just the beginning.
중계면은 좀
Later this
희귀하긴
year,
하다.
we're
그거는
upping the
맞아.
game, the next
좋네.
evolution of NFL Pro Era.
너무 근데 미국
This
한정
year is all about showing the world what you
차라리
got. With the new version of NFL Pro
레슬링이나
Era, we're expanding multiplayer, so you and your best
격투기 이런 거
friends
해주면은
can pit
진짜
your
재밌을
favorite teams
건데.
against each other and see who comes out on top. There's a world of competition out there, and we want to see how our community's QB skills stack up. We got a lot more to share though between now and launch. New features, new modes. This is
스포츠는
more
나가서
than
하라고.
the next version of NFL Pro Era will build on last year's game in so many cool ways, and we cannot wait to get it in your hands. Check us out on social. We posting a lot of community and game updates there before we launch this fall. This is really cool, by the way.
Thanks, Huck. All right, moving on from the field to the court. Back in December, Resolution Games, creators of Blastin' and Demio,
근데
revealed their
우리
latest
입장,
project,
PCVR 하는 입장에서는
Racket Club.
당연히
An
눈에
all-new
부족해
sport
보이는 게
designed
당연한 거고요.
exclusively for
어쩔 수
VR.
없잖아요.
Practice your swing solo. Play pickup
컨셉으로
matches with people all around the
게임색으로
world.
나올
Or
재밌는
just
게임이
hang
나와야
out and
되는데
socialize courtside with your friends in this one-of-a-kind sports complex. Here's a new look at Racket Club.
맞죠? 라켓? 괜찮을 듯? 좁아가지고 은근 운동되고 이거 재밌겠다. 스컷이 저 옛날에 한번 몇 번 치고 그랬어가지고 네, 포즈가 좀 엉성하긴 한데 어차피 인게임에서는 그런 거 못 느끼니까 테니스 스컷이 괜찮은 것 같네. 때리는 감 좋네요. 근데 이 핑퐁이 약간 웃기다. 탁구는 진짜 탁구 느낌이 나는데 스쿼시는 좀 느낌이 어떨라나? 바이오제트 4 같은 것도 한 번 안 나오나? 그래, 운동은 좀
At
나가서
our
하지.
debut
스포츠는
gaming
좀 그만 좀
showcase,
나오고.
I premiered the launch trailer for Wraith: The Oblivion Afterlife from Fast Travel Games. It was the first VR game set in the world of darkness. And today, we're diving back into the world of supernatural horror with an all-new adventure RPG, Vampire: The Masquerade Justice, which will send you to Venice,
공포의 세계로
but not the
뛰어든대요.
Venice you see on postcards. You are a vampire, comfortable in the city's darkest shadows. Hide in plain
큰 거
sight.
한방 기대.
Drink the blood of mortals and use your
이 누나가 더 뱀파이어
vampiric
같아.
abilities to become the ultimate judge of the guilty. So, without further ado, let's sink our teeth into the debut trailer for Vampire: The Masquerade Justice.
와, 일단 느낌 좋아. 느낌 좋아요. 일단 일단 분위기 좋아. 사운드 좋고.
Venice. Italy. Felt like I was back on square one. Hiding in the night.
재밌겠다. 뱀파이어가 돼가지고
I
악당들을
didn't want to get
물어서
dragged
없애는
into
그런
this.
게임인가?
But the
죄는
guilty must be
심판하는
punished.
최후의 심판자. 이거 재밌겠는데요? 약간 퍼즐하고
You do well to remember
스텔스 섞어놓고
that. Because if you don't,
스텔스 게임.
I'll make things very
초능력도 있는데?
comfortable for you.
물어서 죽일 수도 있고. 이거 재밌겠다. 이거 재밌겠다 이거는. 저 이거 마음에 들어요 저는.
Next, an adventure that never needs to end. This one special to me.
병따기는 안 돼,
Developed by
씨발.
Othergate, a studio co-founded by four VR veterans who I used to work with for years on the Oculus
병따기
Studios
그만
team,
나와.
on the very first and super
배관
popular
그만 타.
franchise, Dead and Buried. I know firsthand that these guys are masters at making fun multiplayer games, and I am honored to announce their next project, Dungeons of Eternity. This 1 to 3 player dungeon crawler generates levels from hundreds of unique chambers, so no two trips are the same. You'll explore dark crypts, ruined castles, and deep caverns. Battle monstrous enemies with melee and magic, solve puzzles, avoid traps, gather loot, escape back to safety, level up, and then do it all over again in a brand new dungeon. Take a look.
파로도 그만 시켜라 이 개놈들아. 크롤러. 이것도 일단 타격감 있고. 창창. 도끼 던지는 거 봤어요? 그래도 한 10시간 놀면 재밌는 거죠. 보스전이 있네. 패링도 해야 되는데 이렇게? 패링? 이것도 괜찮아 보여요.
Okay, we brought back Samba de Amigo, but we must have other beloved classics waiting in the wings, right? How about one of the best-selling games of the 90s? An iconic mystery, maybe? Something a little spooky? Yeah, I think we have one like that.
뭔 게임이지? 괜찮은데? 더룸 같은 건가? 전 더룸을 너무 재밌게 했어가지고 그런 류의 게임도 나와야 돼요.
It's you.
오!
Don't be afraid. I'm here to help.
좋은데?
There are many like me here, trapped in this house.
딱 입문자들이 재밌게 할 수 있는 스토리 게임도 나와야 돼. 4-5시간 정도 하는.
Each night,
아,
the guests arrive.
재밌어 보이는데요? 아, 지금?
Stout, what do you
그래픽도 좋아요. 이거 지금 이 게임 화면이잖아요, 그래도. 이거 한번 사서 해볼 듯, 저는. 이런 거 좋아. 23년. 확실히 작년보다 낫기는 하네요. 이것저것 할 게 많아.
The seventh guest is mostly known for ushering in the CD-ROM era, once upon a time. But it's a great puzzle adventure game. And it's cool to see Vertigo Games and Vertigo
그쵸,
Studios
진짜
Rotterdam
많죠.
staying true to the original.
플스 쇼케이스보다 지금 더 재밌어, 저는 사실.
The team is using volumetric video to capture the live-action performances of actors to help tell the game's story.
플스 쇼케이스는 이미 다
They're
알던
also
게임이어가지고.
fully recreating the iconic mansion in 3D for the first time. Just don't be surprised if it starts changing shape around you.
총
It is
게임
haunted
오늘도
after all.
업데이트.
In addition to the seventh guest, Vertigo is working on Arizona Sunshine 2, a sequel to one of the most popular games from VR's early days. This one people have been waiting to see for
Arizona
a
Sunshine.
long time, including me. You might have seen this
Arizona
movie reveal
Sunshine은
recently,
플스
but
때
today
봤잖아.
we have another short teaser for you. Time to say hello to your old pal Freddy, and hello to a new friend
퀘스트
as
3
well.
바로 사실이라고요? 인덱스 오래 쓰긴 하셨으니까. 강아지 귀여워. 아리조나 선샤인 2인가 보네요.
What's going on, Fred?
근데 좀 더 나오네. 플스 때랑은 다르게. 플스 때는 앉아서 노가리만 까더니. 오, 예. Let's go do it.
Watch and learn. What the?
우와, 강아지도 있는데?
You know that only counts as one.
근데 이 게임 영상이 아니긴 해요,
Arizona
맞아.
Sunshine 2, you'll survive the desolate waste of Arizona with your new best friend Buddy, who you can trust to have your back, even when Freddy's are trying to take a
아직
bite out
만드는
of it.
중인가?
Arizona Sunshine 2
플스
launches
쇼케이스에서도
later this
발매
year,
날짜를 말하지
so
않았잖아요.
be sure to check out the game's extended CG reveal trailer if you haven't already. Okay. Last
올해 말에?
November, Netflix and Tenderclaws revealed that the hit series Stranger Things is coming to VR. I hope you're comfortable in the Upside Down, because you're going to be spending a lot of time there. In this chilling psychological horror experience, you are Vecna, invading people's minds and conjuring up their worst nightmares as you look to take revenge on Eleven and her friends. Stranger Things VR comes to MetaQuest Store later this year. And here is a brand new trailer.
약간 으스스한 걸로 많이 나오네요. 사실 으스스한 게 어둡게 해가지고 분위기 잡긴 좋으니까 그래서 그런지 1시간쯤 할걸요?
The predator I was always born to be.
근데 단독 게임 치고 다 잘 만들지 않았어요? 전 다 분위기 좋게 잘 만들었다고 생각하는데? 왜냐면 입문자들한테 단독 유저들한테 추천할 게임이 더룸밖에 없었단 말이에요. 저는 맨날. 근데 이런 류의 게임 할 거 많잖아 이제. 퀄리티 꽤 있잖아요. 그래픽이야 어쩔 수 없는 거고. 충분히 긍정적인 것 같아. 이렇게 한 발 한 발 밟아 나가야지. 왜요? 저는 더룸 안 했으면 퀘스트 안 했을걸요? 더룸하고 퀘스트 올릴 때 VR 진짜 재밌는데 싶어가지고 더룸 때 상호작용 되는 거 퍼즐 해보고 감동 먹어가지고 와 VR 이런 거구나 느꼈었거든요 저는.
And now, thanks to the team at Universe, an exhilarating VR game. Attack on Titan VR Unbreakable lets you join the Scout Regiment and go head-to-head with the Titans themselves. Swing through the air using your ODM gear and take down enemies many times your size as you try to protect the last vestiges of humankind. Some of you may already be familiar with this game because we teased it late last year, but you didn't get to see the game's dynamic, high-flying battles. Today you will.
과연? 간다! 목덜미를 노려!
트위치 팔로우 푸른구름님 고마워요.
구름님 팔로우 감사해요. 와! 아 재밌어! 인게임 영상은 아니지만 일단 재밌어 보여. 속도가 이거 근데 멀미 제조기겠다. 이거 멀미 참을 수 있을까? 이거 사람들이 이거 멀미를 참을 수 있는 거 맞을까 이거? 이거 진짜 재밌어 보이긴 하는데 이거 기대작이다. 오! 못생긴 자식 피해! 아 이거 재밌어 보이는데요 진짜. 목을 노려! 이거 재밌어 보인다. 하지만 멀미 제조기.
Back in 2011, Polish
이게
developer People
팔을
Can
이렇게
Fly,
하는 게
the creators
아니잖아요.
behind
팔을 이렇게 하면 진짜
Outriders and
팔 너무
Painkiller,
아픈데 약간
introduced the world to
입체기동이어가지고
skill shots.
스피드감을
Blast an enemy
느끼고
out of the
재밌을 것
air.
같아.
Skill shot. Kick him into a cactus. Skill shot. Crush somebody under a hot dog cart. Yeah, you get the idea. Now imagine how creative you could get with that system in VR. Forget imagining it. We've got it.
왜 아까 그 정도는
Here's
그래픽 좀 좋은 거 같은데? 단독 게임인 거를 지금 단독 게임 쇼케이스인 걸 생각하고 봐야 돼요, 다크님 우리는. 우리 같이 그래픽 카드 4000평대 가진 사람이 없잖아요. 국내에 그런 사람이 어딨어? 옛날에 핸드폰, 스마트폰 초기 시절에도 닌자 후르츠, 앵그리버드 그렇게 시작돼서 핸드폰 게임들이 발전해 나갔잖아요. 똑같지. 어쩔 수 없이 단독이 많이 나와야 돼. 총게임 나왔다 그래도. 괴물 좋은데? 괴물 미니건으로 쏘는 거 좋다. 아쿠님 눈이 높아. 스팀 게임 하셔야 돼. 재밌어 보이는데?
This is a bullet storm we all know and love. Every
맞아,
skill
모션은
shot,
어쩔 수 없어.
every
모션은
story
몰입감이
beat
깨니까.
fully
맞아요.
recreated from the ground up for VR.
그래서 카툰 렌더링으로 그냥 애니풍 게임으로 컨셉을 미는 게 제일 나은 것 같아 나는. 오노고노 그런 거 같이. 어쩔 수 없는 것 같아요.
So book your ticket to the planet
프링글스
Stygia
한조각.
for later this year. And thanks to People Can Fly and Incubo for bringing such a fun project to life. Okay, before we start talking about our final game, I know you've been waiting for an update on Assassin's Creed in VR. And I have good news. Assassin's Creed Nexus is coming to the MetaQuest store by the end of the year.
어쌔신 크리드?
Ubisoft Forward on June 12th.
아 올해 나오는 거 맞냐고. 만드는 건 알고 있었잖아.
Assassin's Creed Nexus. All right. I promised you a deep dive.
화면도 안 보여줬어 미친 씨. 야 트레일러도 안 보여주는 거야 지금? 보여줄 거야? 보여줄 거야? 트레일러 보여주는 거야? 인게임 보여주는 거야?
That journey ended here, imprisoned in this very
안 보여줘 넘어갔어. 갑자기 아스가드로 넘어가는 애?
Destiny has more in store for you. From Sanzaru Games and Oculus Studios, this is the world premiere of Asgard's Wrath 2.
아 그랬어요? 12일. 오케이. 참는다.
Loki's evil invades all
오
realms.
아스가르드. 좋은데? 약간 약간 가동원 느낌 나는데 방금? 도끼 던졌다가 음악 좋고요. 재미없을 줄 알았는데 아직 괜찮아 보이는데요 지금? 와! 표창! 재밌어 보인다. 노력했네. 이게 단독 에서의 트리플 A라고 볼 수 있겠다. 와, 보스 누나 너무 예쁘고요. 보스 누나 너무 예쁘고요. 좋아요. 음악도 신나고. 맞아. 하! 호! 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 하프로! 쏘나야? 하프로 공격하게? 아, 이거 재밌어 보인다. 별 기대 안 했거든요, 사실은. 근데 재밌어 보이네.
Asgard's Wrath 2
누나!
is an
누나 게임 더
all-new
보여줘요,
standalone
누나!
adventure in this epic series. Freed from prison by the Weavers of Fate, you'll set out on a new quest across
맞아.
time
스팀으로
and
좀 그래픽 더
space.
좋게 나왔으면 좋긴
From the
하겠어.
Norse realms to the deserts of ancient Egypt. Here on the Great Sand Sea, you'll once again battle gods and creatures of myth to stop Loki from upending all of creation. When the original Asgard's Wrath released on PC VR, it wowed players with its jaw-dropping scale, brutal physics-based combat, and stunning graphics. Asgard's Wrath 2 will set a whole new standard for wireless VR. This is the deep and immersive action RPG
VR의 새로운
that
표준을
you've been
세울
waiting
것입니다.
for. Packing
깊고 몰입감
enormous,
넘치는 액션
free-roaming
RPG.
environments,
보여요.
gorgeous visuals, and well over 60 hours of exploration and tense combat
블렌드
into
소울
MetaQuest 2
그런
and
거랑
MetaQuest
스토리랑
3.
블렌드 소울의
Today, my
단점은
friend Matt Kramer,
스토리가 비어
head of
있다는
design
거잖아요.
at Sanzaro Games,
재밌을
will
것
take
같아
us on a
그러면.
tour of the team's groundbreaking title.
트위치 팔로우.
Everything you're about to see
고마워요.
was
팔로우
captured in game.
감사해요.
Matt, the mic's yours.
Thanks, Ruth. I'm so excited to show everyone what we've been working on at Sanzaro these last few years. Asgard's Wrath 2 picks up where the first game left off, in a mysterious tavern you can't escape from. You're
귀엽다.
suddenly thrust into battle with a giant creature, clearly from another realm. Just when you think all is lost, you encounter the Weavers of Fate, a trio of beings that set you off upon your adventure to find and stop Loki. So just how much bigger is this game? Not only will you travel through new Asgardian locations, like Muspelheim, the Land of Fire, the Weavers of Fate will also bring you into new realms, like the vast desert expanse of ancient Egypt. These massive worlds,
왜 이렇게 많이
beyond
먹었어,
the
우리?
scope of any other game on the MetaQuest platform, come alive in Asgard's Wrath 2. Dotted with temples, caves and dungeons,
아스가드
characters
재밌겠다.
to meet,
스토리를 얼마나 잘 밀도 있게 채워나는지가 중요한 것 같아요.
quests and side quests, wildlife, crafting resources, mini games, and more. This is a living world you can roam and explore freely. The most expansive of these worlds is the Great Sand Sea, full of hidden treasures and unique events. You could spend hours upon hours exploring this map and still not discover all its secrets. You might decide to prove your combat prowess by hunting rare,
잘
high-level
만들었는데,
monsters
몬스터?
that roam the sands.
들고 있는 거
Or
미리
gather plants,
밧줄로 내려서
ore, and
패턴을
animal parts to
파괴했네.
craft useful consumable goods,
간지난다.
such as
도끼.
bait to attract wildlife, or a ward that provides a temporary AoE benefit.
사실
wherever you throw it.
블레이드 소울 전투가
But
이미
it's
잘
not
만들어졌기
all about
때문에
survival. Kick back
무기
and
다루는
fish,
무기 다루는
or
느낌이라든지
beat your high
물리라든지
score at the slingshot
그런
shooting
거에다가
gallery.
사실 스토리만 잘 넣으면 되는데
There's no shortage of stuff to do and
퍼즐도
see
이미 퍼즐
outside the
방 탈출
primary
게임
quest line.
있으니까 그거 이 세 개만 잘 섞으면 단독
These worlds
버전에서도
are
충분히
so
훌륭한
big,
각
you're
게임이 나올
going
수
to
있다고
want some more
보거든요. 근데
speed
이제
as you move through them.
자본이 차이지.
Luckily, you'll have the
기술과
power of a
아이디어는 이미
god at
다들
your
있으니까
fingertips. As with
그걸 만들 수
Asgard's
있는
Wrath,
자본과
you'll be
시간의
able to
문제인데.
transform a few brave animals into unique warrior followers to help you solve puzzles and eviscerate
맞아요,
enemies.
저 해봤어요.
New in this game, they'll serve as
쫄다고
powerful mounts
시키는 거는
that can carry you
일부분이고
swiftly across the massive realms of Asgard's Wrath
패링을
2.
깨야 되는데 저도 좀 다 깨진 않았어요.
Of course, what's fast on foot or mount can look very different to a god.
2는 훨씬 더 재밌어지는 것 같네.
Like Asgard's Wrath, you'll also see the world from the god scale perspective and use your cosmic powers to manipulate the mortal world around you.
이런 느낌으로
Reach
MMORPG
accessible
완전 재밌긴
areas,
하겠다.
solve puzzles, and
몹도
more.
이미 완성돼 있고. 굳이 사람하고 PVP는 안
You
넣어도.
can't save the world
방금
alone.
옆으로 이렇게 잡고 가는 거 괜찮아
Egypt is
보였어요.
full of
이런 무빙이
would-be
좀
heroes
재밌을
who
것
need your
같아.
godly assistance to enter the realm of legend. Each hero
그만큼
in
돈 많이
Asgard's
들었을
Wrath
거니까
2 is
딱 공들인 티 나지 않아요?
different
스토리랑
weapons, different skills and
무기랑
abilities, and different strengths.
재미가 있어야 되는데.
By possessing these mortals, you can help them fulfill their destinies. And get closer to
차라리
yours as well.
호콜마보다는 이게 더 재밌을 수도
The
있어요.
first of these
호라이즌
heroes is Abraxas,
그
a
망할
cynical
게임보다는
tomb robber
호콜마는
with a grudge against the gods.
게임이 텅텅 비어 있으니까.
You and Abraxas
저는 차라리
make an
호콜마보다 이게 더
unlikely
재밌을 것
pair,
같아.
but you'll have to work together to take down fearsome enemies like the bloodthirsty goddess Sekhmet. Abraxas seeks vengeance against Sekhmet for the murder of his father. With his boomerang
누나
axe,
보스본 많이
whip
나오면
sword, and
좋겠다.
bladed shield at your command,
와,
he'll stop at nothing
섹시한데?
to defeat her. Combat was one of the aspects players loved most about Asgard's Wrath, us included. It was vicious
테스터가 놀란
and
거.
brutal.
퀘스트 3 발표를 봐서 일단.
Throwing an axe or even
저 채팅 왜 이렇게
using your
웃기냐?
fists. The combat made you
테스트
feel
대체 뭘 보고
powerful
놀란 거야?
and
공포 게임
skilled.
보고 놀란 거 뭐 있던 거야 대체? 뭐 재밌어 보이긴 했는데.
In the first game,
이렇게 놀랄
the
건 없는데.
combat favored a defense-first approach, meaning you had to block and parry a series of enemy attacks before you had a chance to remove their runic shields. This loop had to be completed 3 or 4 times before you could start damaging an enemy. In Asgard's Wrath 2, our updated combat system is centered around player choice. Nothing is holding you back. You can chip away at enemy shields through a flurry of attacks or land skilled parries to trigger opportunity windows that let you cut through your enemy's defenses with ease. We've also expanded the systems to include elemental types for a greater degree of player customization and wider variety amongst enemy archetypes.
방패로 막기도 하네 저기. 오.
This time, we have a
고어한
full
거
physics
좋았어.
system
목 잘라버리는 거
implemented for
좋았고.
weapons. With swords, axes, bows, staffs, and more.
칼 왜 이렇게 잡는 건데?
You can find a combat style that's right for you. But you'll need to change up your approach, as enemies will now react to your
몬스터
every
모션
movement
괜찮네.
and switch up their own attacks. You'll also unlock
방금
new
뭐예요?
skills and abilities as you level
꽂혔나?
up,
아니면
letting
몬스터가
you
잡아서
invest
돌려준
further
건가?
in the weapons
제대로 못
you use
봤어.
most. Unlock powerful abilities
얼렸어.
and super attacks to truly change the
특수
game.
능력도 있네.
Nothing feels better than seeing your weapon soar into the air and rain down on a horde of enemies. You'll also discover
몬스터가 잡고
relics you
돌려준
can
거죠?
slot into your weapons and
바도처럼
armor
내가 초능력한 게
that will
아니고.
provide you with powerful buffs.
무기를
Like
잡는다고?
adding fire
똑똑한데.
damage to your weapon or heal over time.
해상도
Allowing
공개
you
아직
to
안 됐어요.
customize your weapon
근데
set against each enemy you face.
퀘스트
But you
캡프로랑
won't be
비슷할
the only
거예요.
one
캡투랑.
leveling up. Your animal followers have their own
지난번에
skill
뉴스레
trees
자료로 보면은
and will grow in power the
비슷할 거예요.
more you spend time with them. Even with an upgraded companion and all these powers at your disposal, don't think the enemy AI will go easy on you.
뒤로 가고
As you level up,
줄로 당겨가지고
so will
돌진했네.
Gaining
전투가
more
재밌을 듯?
abilities, smarter tactics,
그
sneaky
플스 게임에
counters,
나왔던
stronger armor,
시냅스인가?
powerful super attacks, and relics to
그거랑
use
비슷한
against you.
느낌이네요. 시냅스랑. 시냅스보다 이게 더 재밌을 수도 있겠다. 할 수 있는 게 많네.
Boost each other's damage, or call for reinforcements. You'll have to use all the strength, endurance, speed, and quick thinking you can muster to forge a path through the ravenous enemies that lay between you and your destiny.
와. 줄 땡겨서 날아가면서 공격했어 방금.
For a true challenge and the opportunity to earn bragging rights amongst your friends, you can step into the Uncharted Rifts, an infinitely replayable dungeon crawling mode.
각도고 만들었네. 알릭스 같은 게임을 만들려고.
Back with you into the main
각
campaign.
게임 하나만 소개해봐라 이런 애들한테 딱 소개할 수 있는.
So you can visit at
지난
any
아스가르드는
point
그런
during
전투면에서
or even
부족했고
after the campaign.
이번에는 각 잡고
And put
만들었네.
your skills against some of the toughest time-limited challenges the
이거
Rifts
좀 재밌어
have to
보여요
offer.
지금 되게.
Face
이것도
increasingly ferocious enemies
구매해봐야겠다.
as you delve deeper into these endless labyrinths, encountering the ghosts of players who fell victim to the rifts before you. Whether friend or foe, these specters will be part of your dungeon. helping or hindering your progress.
뭐 그럴 수 있죠.
Survive long enough,
눈을
and
낮추시는
you'll earn a
수밖에.
spot on the leaderboard
광학적 한계다 보니까.
and those precious bragging rights. The Uncharted rifts are deep and full of mystery. They're almost like a whole game on their own, and we've barely scratched the surface of
안돼! 안돼! 끊기는 거야.
all the unique dangers you'll encounter. I hope that this first look at Asgard's Wrath 2 has you excited. We've got so much more to show you. More heroes, more companions, more gods, Loki anomalies. I can't wait to show you more. Back to you, Ruth.
Okay, now head over to the MetaQuest store because pre-orders of Asgard's Wrath 2 are open. Pre-order and you'll get a copy of the original Asgard's Wrath on PC. You don't have to play it before, but it'll add some fun context.
지금 받을 수 있다고?
You'll also get immediate access to the Great Sand Sea home environment I'm standing in now.
지금
and
바로 할
unlock
수
an
있는 거였어?
exclusive Asgard's Wrath 2 themed character, as well as the title of Cosmic Guardian in Population 1.
아, 사전 구매.
And once Asgard's Wrath 2
구매.
launches later this year, those who pre-order
사놔야겠다,
will get
이거.
access to the Sword of Ra and the Sun God's battle armor. That's the end of our main showcase, but stick around for more because up next, we have some of the most passionate VR creators
여기까지야?
sitting down to discuss the games from the show.
게스트 3
And
정보
while you're
좀만 더
there, we're going to
공개해줘!
say with favorites like NFL Pro
누나,
Resident
제발요!
Evil 4, Bone Lab, Among Us, and many more. And like last year, we're also giving away this awesome room I'm
리젠트
standing
이블 4
in.
할인을 한다.
It's available
어머스.
now in settings under home environments. Of course, there's so much more we want to share with you. We plan to announce more games, major updates to existing titles, and we've got a whole new headset to launch. Thank you all so much for tuning in, and thanks to the developers who helped put this show together. Keep playing, and we'll see you next year.
42분이면 아직 끝났지 안 된 것 같은데. 근데 공개 다 한 건가? 이제 뭐 나와?
I'm going to be in so much trouble if this leaks. But this actually looks a lot like Quest 6. The Ecto 1? Oh yeah, that's still parked at my place. No, they're not getting it back.
개그 치고 있어. 게스트 6. One more
Hi
thing!
everyone, I'm Travis Williams, head of production at Oculus Publishing.
One more thing 안 해?
Showcase and are excited for all the awesome games. We gathered some of our talented developers and your favorite VR content creators to talk a bit more about two of them, Asgard's Wrath 2 and Ghostbusters: Rise of the Ghost Lord. First up is Asgard's Wrath 2,
게임 쇼케이스는
massive
끝났나
RPG
봐요.
coming to Quest later this year from Sanzero Games. Let's meet our guest,
근데
Matt Kramer,
퀘스트 3 정보 공개 더 안 해?
director at Sanzero
끝이야?
Games, and a good friend of mine.
What's
Matt?
up, Travis?
You know? And here to grill him with questions are VR gaming creators from the community. We are pleased to welcome Jasmine of VR with Jasmine.
VR 게임
What's
제작자.
going on, Jasmine?
재즈맨.
Jeff, aka a wolf.
아, 저 여성분 이름이 재즈맨인가 봐요.
What's going on? And Thomas, aka
어!
Hi guys.
얘 걔다.
Thank you all so much for being here. You guys have just seen our reveal trailer.
놀라는 표정 하더네. 유출 정보.
I'm sure you have plenty of questions, but first, I'm going to kick things off with a question to Matt. What led your studio from the first game to Asgard's Wrath 2?
Well,
퀘스트 3
you know,
들고 나와주세요.
the first game, we just knocked it out of the park. I mean, it's the largest, biggest action RPG ever made in VR.
Yes.
So what are we going to do? Let's make it bigger. Let's make it better. And that is what we're doing with Asgard's Wrath 2. So I cannot wait for you guys to dig into this game.
I want to so bad.
Like, Wrath 2 has so many different layers.
그러니까
of
인터뷰인가
gameplay.
봐요.
We've got the Uncharted rifts. We've got over 60 plus hours of gameplay.
한 줄이라도 더 흘려라.
Large,
퀘스트 3 정보.
expansive world.
60.
So you
공식
guys saw
홈페이지에
the map,
올려놨으면
which we'll talk
Yes.
about further.
Yes.
So you can look at that. Get
I've read-
zoom in on this. Look at that.
That's me on the Panther thing.
That's our next mocap right there. So, but you know, we've got these mounts, and so that just gives you any
어크는 좀
size
재밌긴 하겠네요.
of the world.
어크 VR 정도
You can,
기대되고
transform any of those guys at any
아스가르드도 구매해야 되고
You're new to the
2개 정도
Asgard's
있고
Wrath
공포 게임도 아까
experience.
괜찮아 보였고.
What did you think of the trailer?
Wow.
아 그러네요.
That's what
GTA를
I thought. The
티저도
whole
안
time, I
보여주네.
think my jaw was on the floor, just like.
GTA 티저 왜 안
What?
보여줘?
There's more. And honestly, the entire time I was looking at it, first I did notice how beautifully designed the characters are. Like their costumes look beautiful, so intricate, which is amazing that you're able to get that on a standalone headset like the Quest.
Oh yeah.
But aside from that, I was also the whole time I was feeling like, am I in a movie? I feel like I'm literally in a movie. So could you talk more about like how
어크도
how much
게임
of the
플레이를 안 보여줘가지고
storyline
사실은.
is like built into there?
Yeah, so
그리고
Asgard's
어크
Wrath 2
특징이
kicks
스트레스
off
게임
where the first
특징이
one left off. And the good
원래
news is
쭈그러
you
앉아서 많이
don't have to
플레이하잖아요.
play the first game.
버튼이
We've
있겠지?
got an
진짜 쭈그러서 하진
awesome
않겠지?
recap that you can see in VR.
그쵸,
and we
벽타기
retell
또
the
많이
whole story.
지긋지긋한
So
벽타기 나오면
first game you're kind of a fledgling god.
걱정된다.
Loki takes you under his wing, and if you remember, Loki left you in a prison, and you're trapped there. So the second game takes off with these weavers of fate
이런 내용은
intervening
대화를 왜 하는
and
거야?
helping you get out of this prison.
아스가르드
to
엄청
track
밀어주네.
down Loki where he is, and that's where we find him in ancient Egypt.
Very cool.
Jeff.
뭐 이러다가.
Man, look. You're old school Asgard's Wrath.
Oh yeah.
Okay, so tell me, like, what's your favorite?
Okay.
Pick one.
Okay, my favorite thing about the first game is probably
편하게 봐야겠어.
the scale of it. I mean, you know, you're a
뭐 하지?
god, you're a little person, so on and so forth. But when you first walk into Jotunheim, which is the world of giants and all that, and you just look in the background and this giant's like suddenly getting up off the ground, and you're just like way down here, and you're just like looking up, craning your neck to see these giants moving. It's just incredible, and that's something that you can only feel in VR.
Absolutely, I agree. So how about this Asgard's Wrath?
Oh man, I am so excited about it, and I assume you guys have even more like hidden collectibles all around the world that people can find.
아스가르드 이야기
I
왜
remember
이렇게
one of
많이
my
해?
favorite parts about the first one is I played through the entire game. You know, you hit the credits, but then there are these massive like side dungeons that tell their own story, and you kind of find those in random locations. Do you have stuff like this too, where I can go out and just do an entirely different game outside the main story?
Yeah, and it's something that we always think about. We're always valuing the player's time and experience in the game. So when you unlock those side quests and stuff, they're not like 1 or 2 objectives and stuff. It is a full-on narrative story that you're going to unlock, almost with its own little ecosystem and its own little loop.
So it's not killed.
야, 아스가르드 이야기를 아까 그 눈나나 다시 불러와라.
We want you to feel like you're in the world, living and breathing it.
I can't believe that this is on Quest 2. It's just amazing to see this kind of graphics. And my question is, how could you do that on Quest 2? And
맞아,
how does it
어마어마한
look on
팬층이 있는
Quest
게임도
3?
아니고.
Yeah, great question. So
예,
first on
어마어마한
Quest 2,
프랜차이즈로
everything
키우고
you
싶어
saw
하는 건
that's
알겠는데.
Quest 2 footage absolutely looks phenomenal. And so we're just very conscientious about what our boundaries are, what we can do and what we can't. We make those boxes very
칭찬
early
엄청
on
하네.
in development, and those are the boxes that we live in. In terms of Quest 3, the feeling of the headset is superb. I've been using this for a couple months now. It's the form factor is primo.
It is.
Really?
The other thing is resolution and horsepower on this thing is phenomenal.
So it will even look better.
퀘스트
on Quest
3를
3.
얘기 좀 하나 이제?
The first game, combat was hit or miss. On the really easy difficulty, it was actually more fun to do combat because you didn't have to do all this blocking, parrying, waiting for other stuff to happen. But in this one, combat looks so much more fun. But in addition to that, the weaponry. I mean, we got axes,
한글화는
and
됐을까요?
Captain America,
궁금하긴
a
하다.
shield across there. You have this.
한글화 안 된 거 아니야? 뭐는 한글화 돼 있긴 했는데.
What I do want to talk about is weapon diversity. So another thing that we haven't touched on is the sword that Raxus has transforms into a whip.
자기들만 써보고 자랑하네.
General is taken to another level in Asgard's Wrath 2.
정신병이야.
Across things, you're going to be doing combinations where you're wall running to a couple wall runs, and then you're floating in air, and then you're using the whip to pull
that. They're like
yourself
flipping
up.
weapons.
Yeah, cool.
아, 그래 채찍으로 이렇게 확 해가지고 확 하는 거 재밌어 보이긴 했어. 근데 그거를 티저로 보여줬으면
She's all set up in mount form. You gotta rush. You want to rush onto the mount, but she's really far away. Use your whip.
충분했던 거 아니야?
Your whip. Boom! You're right on the mount. You're riding around. Oh, there's a mob of enemies out there while you're on the mount.
그만 답을 대
Use your
알았어.
whip. Pull yourself right to the target, and you're right off the mount. Toe-to-toe combat. And it's that kind of fluidity.
근데 얘네 무슨 대화하고 있는 거예요? 차라리 기술적인 대화를 하던가.
Really takes us to another level.
우리가 봤던 걸 또 얘기하고
So
있네
it sounds
그냥.
like the weapons also dual, like doing something, able to do something else. Are there any other weapons that do something else?
Oh, we have a ton. I mean, the shield in its
우리가 기술 얘기
has so many layers.
얘기하면 좀 들을 만한데 하긴 이건 게임 쇼케이스니까.
The axe, you know, you could throw it.
게임
You could
얘기하는 게
stop it.
맞기는
You could
한데.
redirect it. All the weapons also have a
그놈의 방패를 던질 수도 있고 막을 수도 있고.
redirect some switches or something and you'll be using it. And the cool thing is
그냥 이 게임이 얼마나 개쩐지.
they have all different
F-용지 10장
every character
10포인트로 설명하고
feel
있어.
like a totally different game in itself. And the coolest part is those characters you meet, those followers that you meet throughout your adventure, you bring them back to the beginning of the game, you bring them back to other locations.
근데 멀티가 될까? 멀티가 되나?
Yeah, so much stuff with the hero.
두세 명이라도 보스전
seems to be full of
멀티가 되면은 재밌을 것 같은데.
right?
And that's how any game starts.
I know, but
다크소울처럼.
the thing about it is a lot of times you don't get to put that stuff in the game. You know, you go like, wouldn't this be cool? Wouldn't this be cool? And it just seems like you just sat around and just said, hey, you know, it'd be cool, and you put it in the game.
You know, I'm going to tell you what.
있었어요 아까?
Wouldn't it be cool?
내려오는 장면이
You
있었어?
guys saw in the trailer, there's this big lunken monster that's going around the back of the desert. That desert is called the Great Sand Sea. And you're going to see this guy. Yep, you're there right now.
Yeah, I feel it.
And
don't turn
you're
around.
gonna see this guy in the background. And if you look closely at some of the footage in the trailer, there's going to be a moment where you're going to be toe to toe with that.
주먹
giant
맞대는
creature.
장면이 있었다.
So when you talk about epic scale and can these guys do the epic scale on the Quest 2, the stuff that you're going to fight and battle is on a huge scale.
We talked about a lot of characters and gods and stuff, so there will be something like a story, of course. Will my community
등장인물 엑스트라 악당인 소개로.
German? For
Yeah.
example?
So on launch day, we will have all localization.
Wow.
And that'll be day one from right off the bat.
Awesome. Nice. That's what I want to hear. So you talked about hardcore players.
얘네는 계속 잡담만 할 것 같긴 해. 근데 그 공포 게임 얘기 좀 있으면 좋겠어.
Yep, we have everything from, you know, the base story mode to
약간 명레슨 동료도 있었던 것 같은데.
Absolutely.
1편에서는 동료한테 빙의하는 거였잖아요.
Because it will punish you.
그 막 조종하고.
I want to see
1편은 그렇게 재밌었다고는 할 수 없는 것 같아.
the entire game on Wrath difficulty.
볼륨은 크긴 했는데 엔딩을 결국 못 봤어요
40
하다가.
episodes because it's a 60-hour game plus dungeons plus you have these rift mechanics. I mean, it's massive. You expect me to play it multiple times?
I guess you better get
좀
on.
신박한 퍼즐 많이 나왔으면 좋겠어. 공포 게임에서. 너무 어려운 퍼즐 말고 신기한 퍼즐. 신기한 퍼즐. 레드메터 2 재밌더라고요. 신기한 퍼즐들이 있어서 머리를 써야 되는 퍼즐들이 있어서 괜찮았어.
Yeah, it's just making sure that everything is fresh. You know, we've got our
물고 그러니까 아마 그런 거 있을 수 있겠다. 이렇게 책상이 있고 거기를 이렇게 진짜 머리를 넣어서 봐야지. 책상이 이렇게 있으면은 책상 밑에다가 비밀번호 같은 거 써놓을 수 있잖아요.
We've got the Uncharted.
그런 거 진짜 얼굴 들어가서 봐야지. VR에서만 할 수 있는 그런 거 괜찮다. 서서는 알 수 없어. 얼굴 들어서 봐야 돼. 그런 퍼즐 괜찮네. 맞아.
On the ethereal planes with the weavers. And so the rift
책상에 무슨 껌 떼야지 나오는
like a
비밀.
roguelike game. There's floors and floors of dungeons that the players need to go through. Now what's cool about this is when you die in the rift,
뭔 게임 얘기하고 있는 거야 이거 지금?
you can leave behind either
아직도 아스그라드 얘기하고 있는 거야? 자, 아스그라드 티셔츠를 찢어버리고 싶네.
My soul will go off into the cosmos and it'll go into someone else's game. And while they're playing,
알파벳 생긴 인간. 옛날에 촌농으로 귀족들이 쓰는 그거. 인장이었다.
And he needs some extra help. He can reach out to one of those divine souls, and you could pull them into your game.
So I can pull Jasmine into my game.
You could.
And her soul will help me.
Yep. So let's say you're not so nice and you want to throw out a dread soul. And so you can send out a dread soul to go to other people's games. And they'll
열심히 만들었겠죠.
that's gonna
열심히
fight other
만들었겠지.
people. And it's an asynchronous.
신경 많이 쓴 티 나긴 해요. 전투라든지.
Now what's
모델링도 그렇게 허접하지 않았고.
to make sure the game is chock full of all these different discovery points. And to your earlier question, how do you keep people playing is things like this. It's the
Like that.
story, it's the content, it's the type of stuff that's coming and just keeping it fresh. So
I think that's fresh as hell as far as I'm concerned. I mean, look, Matt,
이거.
clearly you spent a lot of time making this.
아, 근데
game.
플스 쇼케이스 때도
It's gonna be awesome.
뒤에 15분을 스파이더맨만
That's all from us
해놔가지고
now.
먹미
Thanks a ton
했는데
to
사실 나는
Jasmine,
배울 게임 기다리고 있었으니까.
Jeff,
끝난 거야?
Thomas.
그래 이거 아스라드 얘기 그만하고 얼른 집에들 들어가시고 다른 얘기하자. 다른 얘기.
Available for pre-order now with some
다른
awesome
얘기하자.
in-game items coming exclusively to MetaQuest headsets later this year.
선주문이 가능합니다. 결국 선주문을 하나 이거잖아.
Hey, we're back.
Hey yo.
Hey Ruth, I know you like to fit, but it's not just me. I got a whole squad.
아, 고스트버스터즈 팀이네 이번은.
That's the streets of San Francisco to talk more about Ghostbusters. Rise of the Ghost
진짜 뜬금없다. 뜬금없어.
Let's meet our panel.
바톤 터치였어. 게임 개발팀 바톤 터치였어.
Thank you, Travis.
What's happening? And again, we're joined by a group
아이,
of VR
미친놈들.
content creators to throw questions at them. First up,
미친놈들아, 니네 티저만 졸라 만들고 게임을 내라고.
What's good with you?
You know. You know her as Outer World on YouTube.
시청자 빠지는 거 봐. 지금 이 팀 나오고 시청자 5명 한 번에 자러 갔어요. 주무실 분들은 주무시러 가세요. 바이바이 비바. 일단 난 끝까지 봐야겠어.
Rise of the Ghost Lord story, villain, and announced that the game is coming fall 2020. But before we get to your questions, I'd like to ask each of you, what did you think of the new trailer?
아스가르드는
It
구매해놔야겠다.
was cool to see the design of all the different monsters as well as like the environments. What made you decide to go with that style for Ghostbusters?
Yeah, well, there's so many themes to Ghostbusters, and we wanted to stay super authentic to the IP. We wanted that horror element, so you know, there's some really moody environments in there. The ghosts are scary. We've got, you know, you saw the crocodile hand ghost in there. Yeah, and
60유로? 60유로면은
the
얼마야?
which is holding its own,
봐야겠다.
which is pretty good.
얼마일까?
So, yeah, we wanted to hit that horror theme, but we also
뷔펜
wanted
켜야
it to
되잖아,
be,
이거.
accessible
코스트
to everybody.
없으니까.
Ghostbusters
미꾸라지.
is accessible. It's iconic. There's
오랜만에
multi-generations
미꾸라지를
of fans,
켜고
so we
얼마인지
wanted every one of those
볼까요?
generations to see the game and just buy into it straight away.
That's
and
awesome.
just, yeah.
It looked amazing to me, to be honest. Like I love the graphics. I
이걸
love
뭐지?
everything. What stuck out to me was the multiplayer aspect of the game, right? Because the games I find most enjoyable are games I can play with my friends. So I just want to see how we're going to incorporate the traps, the proton pack, the scanner. I thought you were gonna turn it on.
Well, good. I called him. Turn it on. I don't want to know if there are ghosts in this area. You know, for real, because
Wait
I'm
a
not
minute.
equipped for that.
I just want to know, like, my main thing about it is like,
어디로 가지?
how is the gameplay? Like, when it comes to multiplayer, like, I want to know, is there like when we go into dungeons,
아메리카.
like, a tank, a DPS, like, how are we gonna use our technology to benefit everyone?
Absolutely. So yeah, it's all about teamwork. So it's about going into these places and busting ghosts together. And you've got an array of equipment.
US,
to use. So you've got the
Los
proton pack,
Angeles.
the iconic proton pack. You've got the ghost trap and the PKE, as you said. So the PKE, that's your
Los
radar,
Angeles.
right? That's how you navigate around the world. You find your items, or you find the ghost,
어딨지?
that you're gonna bust, or the
메타퀘스트.
ghost that's invested that
너무
area.
오랜만에 들어가니까.
And then as a team, you coordinate, right? Who's
이것도 문제긴 해.
zapping the
메타 쇼케이스 때문에 50% 할인하네요.
them, who's going to trap them?
게임 살 거 있으면 좀
and
사는
there's
것도
that,
좋을
you know,
듯.
that really fun co-op.
얘네도 우리가 좀 사줘야지. 우리 맨날 스팀게임만 사니까 게임 만들 맛이 안 나겠지.
upgradable.
뭐 이것저것 50% 세일이라는데요?
The upgrade station. So that's where you really
뭐
you
이런
mod
거?
out your kit.
Okay.
So
안 보이나 잘?
one of your team might decide to have the shield, the deployable
팩,
shield,
무슨
or
번들
the
팩.
decoy,
그래서
and the others might
다
be,
50% 하는 건
just
아니고 50% 하는 게임도
doing
있다는 거고
the
대부분
heavy lifting
30%네.
with the proton pack.
So basically, it's like once we determine our loadout to be
애프터 프로
easier,
30.
like we'll be
데메오 35%면
Yeah, definitely. It's all about strategy.
모스 30%.
And the most fun thing, to be honest, is when
모스가 30%라는 레드매터 2 30% 이거 진짜 좋다.
at the main HQ, which I'm assuming we can see
레드
behind us.
매터 쓸만하지.
Then you determine
재밌으니까.
what you're going to do from
그
there.
단독 유저분들 레드 매터 2 지금 할인하는 거 사세요. 재밌어요 이거. 단독으로도 그래픽이 아주 좋게 나온 게임이라서. 아 50% 세일하는 거 레지던트 이블 4가 50%네. 이거 필구다 필수 구매. 아니 저야 PC는 이걸로 하는데 저는 단독 유저분들.
You're clearing out the ghost infestation in San Francisco.
Yeah.
So you earn cash at the end of
피스톨
the
입도
mission.
30%, 나그러놓고 40%. 재밌는 거 할인 많이 하네요 지금.
To work out how you're gonna bust these ghosts without destroying.
근데 아스가르드가 예약 구매를 그래서 어디서 해?
So like, with such a legendary.
아스가르드 예약 구매를 어디서 하는지
What was
모르겠어.
like the hardest bit to do to bring this to VR? Because
할인 먹는 거 보고 있었어.
the best way anyone could actually feel like they are a Ghostbuster for the first time.
Absolutely.
So, yeah.
VR is so immersive, and to
근데 지금
the proton pack. Go in with your friends,
로스앤젤리너스로
it's
해놨는데
insane, right? One of the hardest things was making
내가 못
sure
찾고
that
있나?
it felt authentic. It's making sure that the proton one felt like the proton one.
아 바로 보인다. 사전 주문.
And the trap, when that opens and captures a ghost,
사전
it's
주문.
as powerful as it is in the
59.9
But we tie in
$9,
a lot of
$60.
the
$60면 얼마야?
Ghostbusters
좀
universe
비싸다.
into what we made.
Otter, your people are watching, right?
언어에
What do they
한국어가
wanna know
없어.
about Ghostbusters: Rise of the Ghostwood.
Is the marshmallow
잠깐만. 독일어, 스페인어, 영어, 일본어, 프랑스어, 한국어가 없어. 미친!
You go around the corner and you get absolutely
미친놈들아! 한국어가 없잖아.
picking them up. Right.
더러운 놈들아. 야 한국 사람들이요? 게임을 안 사서 그런 게 아니야. 우리가 다 VP 사서 그래 이놈들아.
What made you come up with these designs? Like how does that work?
Yeah, we looked at the spirit guide and all the existing IP, and we just tried to make the most fun.
한글이 없어. 살라 그랬는데 지금. 미쳤네. 살라 그랬는데 진짜로.
Yeah.
삼바 아미고. 삼바 아미고도 사전 제약 받네요.
Like, how'd you come up with that art style?
삼바 아미고 $30. 이거 한국어 있다.
You know, I'm gonna do something like a.
근데 이건 살지 모르겠고.
Absolutely. So we started with very.
네가 죽길 바래. 10%. 이거 한국어 있어.
And we picked from the styles that we really liked the most.
네가 죽길 바래 3 한국어가 있어요 단독판에.
One, we wanted to
한국어가 있어.
on the platform.
이거.
And two, we just wanted to make it pop. We wanted the characters to pop.
이거 살만하다. 이거 스팀으로도 바로 나올라나? 스팀에 한국어가 있으면 그래야 제가 방송을 하기 때문에 스팀으로 사두고 싶긴 한데 단독 유저가 살만한 게임 또 하나 나왔고 이거 한국어 지원해 있네? 게임 호텔.
So Techman, what kind of multiplayer gamer are you?
Man, just like Ghostbusters, something with strategy.
공포 사전.
So I want to go
영어.
in. I want to have a plan. I don't want to just go in.
어쌔신 크리드 발매 예정.
I want to make sure we know what we're going after, what exactly we're going to do, who's going to use the trap,
사일런스 슬레이어.
this weapon, that
영어.
weapon. I want it to be flawless, right? Because if we're going to lead a team, if we're going to storm through the gates, we need to know.
아까 쇼케이스에서 나왔던 거 다 나오긴 하네.
Techman has clearly got some multiplayer.
한국어가 돼 있는 게 몇개 없네.
To make it happen. Well, listen, Jack, I appreciate you coming through. This looks amazing.
Thank you.
You know, you're the art director, so much love. That'll do it for our Ghostbusters Rise of the Ghostwood Roundtable. Huge thanks to everyone on the stage. Jack.
Thank you.
Techman.
카게구르이 재밌잖아요.
And Gamer Tag.
카게구르이 저 너무 재밌게 했는데. 너무 재밌게 봤는데.
Ghostbusters Rise of the Ghostwood launches this fall, and you can wishlist the game right now on the MetaQuest store. That's all from us. Again, we hope you enjoyed this year's showcase, as well as these deeper discussions.
근데 한국어 지원이 피스 고스트바스터즈랑 삼바밖에
Hi
없긴 해요.
everyone.
네가 죽길 바래
Head
이거랑.
of production at Oculus Publishing. We hope you enjoyed our show.
아 뭐지? 끝났나? 공식도 끝났어요. 잠깐만. 끝났어. 이렇게 허무하게 끝났다고? 갑자기 인사도 제대로 안 하고? 아이씨 졸라 어이없네. 사고야 뭐야? 사고 터진 거야 뭐야? 지금 공식에서도 지금 애들 반응이 웃긴데? 공식도 지금 잠깐 바꿔드릴까요? 화면을? 공식도 지금 화면이 what the fuck 이러면서 지금 어디야? 공식도 끝나버렸어. 공식이 끝났어. 공식 끊긴 거야. 뭐야? 끝난 거야? 아직도 1300명이 남아있는데? 자, 다시 들어가보자. 한 번만 더 들어보고 여기서 끝나는 걸 수도 있겠네 그럼. 실시간 스트리밍 끝났네. 오늘 방송 여기까지 하겠습니다. 다 끝났네요. 끝났어. 오늘 방송 여기까지 같이 봐주신 분들 정말 감사하고요. 게임 재밌어 보이는 거 정리해서도 유튜브도 올릴 거고, 늦은 시간까지 28분 함께 해주셔서 정말 감사합니다. 퀘스트 3 정보가 한 줄도 안 나오네. 마지막쯤에 말은 나올 줄 알았는데 좀 아쉽다. 다른 데에서 유출 정보 같은 거 정리해서 유튜브로 좀 올리고 그래야겠다. 시간이 3시네요. 모두 안녕히 주무세요. 미바 바이바이. 저 송출컴이 고장나가지고, 컴퓨터 한 대가 고장나가지고 그거 고쳐야 돼. 오늘 밤새야겠다. CPU를 i7 8700을 20만원 주고 사는 게 맞을까요? 나 지금 고민이야. 질렀다가 지금 취소했다가 그냥 10만원 더 주고 메인보드랑 CPU 셋 라이젠 5600을 하는 게 맞는 것 같긴 한데, 또 서브컴에 10만원 더 쓰기는 싫고 너무 고민이다. 30만원을 쓰냐 20만원을 쓰느냐. 20만원을 쓰면 i7 8700 한 4년 전 모델, 30만원을 쓰면 라이젠 5600X. 라이젠 하는 게 더 옳은 선택인 것 같기는 한데 모르겠다. 일단 시간이 좋습니다. 저 컴퓨터 고치러 미바.